Whispers of the Cursed Town, the Forest's Embrace. In a forgotten corner of the world, shrouded in a pall of gloom and despair, there existed a cursed town known as Hollowbrook. Its grim reputation extended far beyond the boundaries of the town, and the very air was thick with an unspoken malevolence. But at the heart of this cursed place lay an ancient secret, one that had cast a sinister shadow over its residents for generations. Hollowbrook had been cursed for as long as the townsfolk could remember, a place where the veil between the living and the dead was thin. The land itself seemed to wither, its fields barren and its trees skeletal, as if even nature itself had been tainted by the curse. At the heart of the town was an imposing mansion known as the Evercrest Manor. It was a relic of another era, its grandeur now a haunting reminder of past splendors. The townspeople whispered that the mansion was the source of the curse, a place where dark rituals and unspeakable horrors had unfolded. But the true source of the curse was not the mansion, it was an antique mirror hidden within the mansion's depths. The mirror, an intricate masterpiece of malevolence, was said to possess the power to reveal the hidden desires and fears of those who dared to gaze into it. Those who faced their own reflection within the mirror would be forever marked by their darkest secrets. The mirror had been passed down through generations of the Evercrest family, a lineage tainted by darkness and driven to madness. It was said to capture the souls of those who had been ensnared by its malevolence, trapping them within its inky depths for all eternity. The townsfolk lived in fear of the mirror and the curse that it brought. They spoke in hushed tones, sharing tales of those who had fallen victim to its malevolent power. It was a town where the dead walked alongside the living, their tormented souls forever bound to Hollowbrook. One fateful day, a courageous outsider named Emily arrived in Hollowbrook, drawn by the rumors and legends that had entangled the town. Her thirst for the supernatural and the unknown had led her to this cursed place, where she believed she could uncover the truth behind the tales that had captured her imagination. Evercrest Manor, its haunted facade draped in shadows, welcomed Emily as she crossed its threshold. Her footsteps echoed through the grand foyer as she made her way to the mirror, a relic of malevolence concealed in a forgotten room. As Emily gazed into the malevolent mirror, her reflection stared back at her, but it was not her own visage she saw. Instead, the mirror revealed a twisted version of herself, one consumed by her deepest and most malevolent desires. Her reflection grinned ominously, a chilling and wicked expression that sent shivers down her spine. Terrified, Emily tried to turn away, but the malevolent mirror held her gaze captive, drawing her deeper into its abyss. She witnessed nightmarish visions, each more dreadful than the last, as the mirror whispered promises of power and enlightenment, urging her to embrace the darkness within. The cursed spirits of the Evercrest family, imprisoned within the mirror's malevolence, spoke to Emily in voices that were both mournful and seductive. They told her of their own descent into madness and the malevolent secrets they had unearthed, warning her of the mirror's curse. With sheer determination, Emily tore her gaze away from the malevolent mirror. The room filled with echoes of malevolence, but she had escaped its clutches. Frightened and shaken, Emily left Evercrest Manor, its ominous presence gradually receding as she ventured into the cursed streets of Hollowbrook. The town had been forever marked by the curse, and its residents continued to bear the weight of their darkest secrets. As Emily walked deeper into the cursed forest that surrounded Hollowbrook, she couldn't shake the feeling that the curse had not truly released its hold on her. The malevolent mirror remained within the mansion, waiting for the next unsuspecting soul to confront their own darkest reflection. Hollowbrook, with its cursed town and haunted mansion, was a place where the living and the dead coexisted, their fates inextricably bound by the malevolent mirror's curse. The cursed forest stretched before her, a foreboding realm where the whispers of the past still lingered, and the secrets of Hollowbrook remained eternally entwined with the shadows. The echoes of the cursed, from prison to grave. In the heart of a desolate town, forgotten by time and consumed by an unspeakable evil, there stood a cursed prison known as Blackmore Penitentiary. Its grim reputation extended far beyond the town's boundaries, and the very air seemed to resonate with the echoes of past horrors. At the center of this wretched place lay a malevolent secret, one that had condemned the souls of both the living and the dead for generations. Blackmore Penitentiary was a place of darkness, where the veil between the mortal realm and the afterlife was dangerously thin. It was a structure of foreboding stone and iron, its very presence a harbinger of doom. The prison's inhabitants were a shadowy and tormented lot, their despair etching itself into the very walls. The curse that had plagued Blackmore Penitentiary was not of this world, but was rooted in the dark history of the town itself. The malevolent secret, however, lay within the prison's morgue, an eerie and desolate chamber where the souls of the deceased were said to be trapped, unable to find rest. Within the morgue was a macabre mirror, an ancient relic of malevolence. The mirror was said to possess the power to unveil the hidden desires and fears of those who dared to gaze into it. It revealed not a reflection of the physical self, but a twisted and nightmarish incarnation of one's innermost soul. The mirror had been passed down through generations of prison staff, each one marked by its malevolent influence. It was said to capture the souls of those who dared to confront their own reflection, imprisoning them within its inky depths for all eternity. Blackmore Penitentiary was shrouded in legends of the cursed mirror and the inescapable fate that awaited those who peered into it. The inmates and guards lived in perpetual fear of the prison's malevolent influence, and stories of its horrors were passed down from generation to generation. One fateful day, a brave prison guard named Daniel found himself drawn to the morgue, lured by the tales of the cursed mirror. His curiosity and desire for answers led him to the chamber where the malevolent relic awaited. As Daniel gazed into the malevolent mirror, his reflection stared back at him, but it was not his own visage he saw. Instead, the mirror unveiled a sinister version of himself, one consumed by the deepest, darkest desires of his heart. His reflection leered at him, a malevolent grin that sent shivers down his spine. Terrified, Daniel tried to break free, but the malevolent mirror held his gaze captive, drawing him deeper into its abyss. He witnessed nightmarish visions, each more dreadful than the last, as the mirror whispered promises of power and insight, urging him to embrace the darkness within. The tormented spirits of the prison's former inhabitants, trapped within the mirror's malevolence, spoke to Daniel in voices that were both mournful and enticing. They recounted their own descent into madness and the malevolent secrets they had uncovered, warning him of the mirror's curse. With an extraordinary effort, Daniel tore his gaze away from the malevolent mirror. The morgue echoed with the remnants of malevolence, but he had escaped its clutches. Terrified by his encounter, Daniel fled the prison, leaving behind the malevolent mirror and its haunted chambers. Blackmore Penitentiary, with its cursed history and malevolent secret, continued to cast a shadow over the town. As he ventured further from the prison, Daniel felt a lingering sense of unease, as if the curse had not fully released its grip on him. The chilling memories of the mirror haunted him, and he knew that the malevolent relic remained within the prison, waiting for the next unsuspecting soul to confront their darkest reflection. The journey led him to the town's cemetery, a place where the cursed and the restless found their final resting place. The souls trapped within the mirror, their voices echoing in his mind, whispered that the curse had not been broken, and the malevolent secret would continue to cast its sinister influence. Blackmore Penitentiary, with its cursed prison and malevolent mirror, remained a place where the living and the dead coexisted, their fates inextricably bound by the curse. The chilling cemetery stretched before him, an eerie realm where the echoes of the past still lingered, and the secrets of Blackmore Penitentiary remained eternally entwined with the souls of the departed. Whispers of the Damned, a journey beyond the veil. In the heart of a forsaken town, where the air hung heavy with a palpable malevolence, there stood a cursed prison known as Blackwood Penitentiary. Its grim reputation stretched beyond the boundaries of the town, and the very ground upon which it stood seemed tainted by an unspeakable darkness. But the true horror that lay within the prison was not confined to its cold, stone walls. It was an ancient mirror, a malevolent relic forgotten by time. Blackwood Penitentiary had been cursed for as long as the townsfolk could remember, a place where the veil between the living and the dead was thin. The prisoners who entered its gates were said to be forever marked by the malevolence that permeated the air, their souls forever bound to the wretched halls. At the heart of the prison, hidden away in a forgotten chamber, lay the malevolent mirror. It was a grotesque and ornate piece, its glass tarnished by the anguish and despair of countless souls. The mirror was said to possess the power to expose the deepest, darkest desires and fears of those who dared to gaze into it. But it did not reflect one's physical appearance, it revealed a sinister and malevolent incarnation of one's very soul. The mirror had been locked away for generations, its existence known only to a select few. Its true power remained a whispered secret, passed down through the ages, a tale too terrible to be spoken aloud. One fateful night, a curious young woman named Clara found herself standing before the imposing gates of Blackwood Penitentiary. Driven by an insatiable curiosity about the supernatural and the enigmatic mirror, she was determined to uncover the truth that lay hidden within the prison's wretched walls. As Clara delved deeper into the bowels of the prison, she finally stumbled upon the forgotten chamber. There, shrouded in shadows, stood the malevolent mirror, its tarnished surface glinting with an eerie light. With trembling hands, Clara peered into the mirror, her reflection staring back at her. But it was not her own visage she saw. Instead, the mirror revealed a twisted version of herself, one consumed by the deepest, darkest desires of her heart. Her reflection leered at her, a malevolent grin that sent shivers down her spine. Clara tried to pull away, but the malevolent mirror held her gaze captive, drawing her deeper into its abyss. She was shown visions of nightmarish horrors, scenes of suffering and torment, as the mirror whispered promises of forbidden power and insight, urging her to embrace the darkness within. In the midst of her trance, Clara's screams echoed through the forgotten halls of Blackwood Penitentiary. The malevolent mirror seemed to absorb her very soul, leaving nothing but a haunting silence. The prison, once a place of despair, had become a place of unspeakable horror. Clara's disappearance sent shockwaves through the town, reigniting the legends of the malevolent mirror and the cursed Blackwood Penitentiary. Weeks turned into months, and the prison remained shrouded in darkness, a silent testament to the horrors that had transpired within. The malevolent mirror remained in its forsaken chamber, forever cursed, a relic of unparalleled evil. But the story did not end there. As the years passed, the town began to speak of strange occurrences in the nearby morgue, where the veil between the living and the dead was said to be thinnest. Whispers of ghostly apparitions and haunting cries filled the air, and the morgue became a place of dread for the townsfolk. It was said that the malevolent mirror's curse had extended beyond the prison, reaching into the very fabric of the town itself. The veil between the living and the dead had grown thinner, and the souls of the departed wandered the streets, their tormented cries echoing through the night. One by one, the townspeople began to vanish, their fates unknown. The morgue, once a place of somber reflection, had become a realm of unspeakable horror, where the living and the dead walked hand in hand. The final chapter of the cursed tale unfolded in the town's ancient cemetery, where the restless spirits of the departed lay in eternal slumber. It was here that the malevolent mirror's power was said to be strongest, and where the living and the dead would face their ultimate reckoning. As the moon hung low in the night sky, Clara's ghostly figure stood among the tombstones, her eyes vacant and empty. She was not alone. The souls of those who had vanished, their faces etched with despair, surrounded her. In the distance, the malevolent mirror gleamed with an unholy light, its power radiating through the cemetery. The veil between the living and the dead had been torn asunder, and the boundary that separated the two realms had become blurred. Clara and the other lost souls were drawn towards the mirror, their spectral forms drawn to its malevolent embrace. The mirror seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy, its surface shimmering with an eerie light. As Clara gazed into the mirror once more, she saw not her own reflection, but a twisted and malevolent version of herself. The mirror had captured her soul, forever binding her to its malevolence. The cemetery echoed with the whispers of the damned, the cries of the lost souls mingling with the mournful howling of the wind. The curse that had plagued Blackwood Penitentiary had now spread, infecting the very essence of the town itself. In the end, Blackwood Penitentiary, the morgue, and the cemetery became a trifecta of horror, forever bound by the malevolent mirror's curse. The town, once a place of sorrow, had become a realm of unspeakable terror, where the living and the dead were forever entwined. And so, the legend of the cursed prison, the haunted morgue, and the accursed cemetery would live on, whispered among the townsfolk as a cautionary tale of the darkness that dwells within us all. The malevolent mirror's power was eternal, its legacy forever etched into the very fabric of the town's existence, a reminder that some curses can never be broken,